So now I value is also incremented. I value is 3. So it will come check the condition. The goto statement can transfer the program control anywhere in the program. What is this lines you are writing, sir? Lines in the sense the program code. Imagine whatever the code that I have written, okay? That you want to perform in this loop. Before you complete that, no, whenever you encounter this break, you are coming out. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the 6th session on control structure. My dear students, this is going to be the last session in this control structure. What is that I'm going to discuss in this session with all of you. So let's start the session for all of you. I have a small recap before I start the session. What is that we have discussed till now? So let's have a quick look. All right, we started with if statements. So we all know that when we have the if statement, we have 4 different types of if statements. So can you all tell me how many different types of if statements we have? Of course, yes, it's 4. The first one is simple if. The second one is if else. The third one that we have is nested if, and the fourth one that we have is ladder. All right, this is the different types of if statements that we have discussed. This is all about the if statements. So we also studied something called switch case. So please remember, we have studied switch case and also we have studied. Can you all recollect what is that we have studied? Come on, what is that we have studied after the switch case? I will just give you the clue. So we used to write the syntax like this: x is equal to a greater than b. All right, question mark a b. All right, what is this? What is this? What exactly this statement is all about? Can you all think what is the question mark here? So please go back and check what is that we have discussed about this. I will give you the hint. It starts from C. Think, what is that we call this as? Where do we use this? So what is that? So please understand. So this is, what is this? This is what we call it as a conditional operator. So please remember this. So this is what we have studied along with the switch case. So fine. What else we have studied? We have studied an important concept in the last session, that is loop. Okay. When we have different types of loops, the first one that we started with while loop. This is what we call it as a entry control loop, and also we have for loop. All right, so we also have for loop. So please understand, when we have entry control loop, we should also have, what is that, exit control loop. So that's what we call it as a do while. So please understand this. This is the 3 types of loops that we have. This is what we have discussed in my previous classes. All right, what is that I have in today's session? So please go through the agenda for the day. I have nested loops. All right, I have nested loops. I have jump statements, break statement. I also have continue. So what exactly is this? Let's get into the session quickly. So fine, let's start with the nested loops. Nested loops in the sense what? We have something called nested if statement, right? So if statement inside the if statement. Same thing, we have something called for loop. Okay, looping statement inside the looping statement. That is what we call it as a nested loops. If you have the for loop inside the for loop, see, for example, I have the for loop given here. Okay, so inside this, when I have the body of the loop, there again I have the for loop. Okay, so this is what I will call it as an inner loop, and this is what I will call it as an outer loop. So what is this? So whatever I have the inside the body of this loop, okay, this is what I will call it as a inner loop. This is what I will call it as a inner loop. All right, so this is whatever I have here, so this is what I will call it as a outer loop. You need to understand one thing. How many times these loops are going to execute? Say for example, I have one statement here. All right, let me just write. So this is what I have. Let me erase everything so that you'll be able to understand clearly. Imagine I have some statement here, print f. All right, so hi. I have printf I. So here I have the condition. Imagine this condition will run for 2 times. This again here I'll run for 2 times. Okay, so this condition 2 times. Okay, this condition 2 times. How many number of times this high will be printed? You got my question? So this loop, outer loop will run 2 times, inner loop will run 2 times. Okay, then how many number of times this loop, this printf statement will be printed? Can you tell me? Can you think and tell me how many number of times this statement will be printed? So I have outer loop, it is running for 2 times. Okay, so into inner loop is running for 2 times. 2 into 2, total number of times, whatever the statement that I have inside this loop will be printed 4 times. Sir, how? Please understand this logic. So I am in the first iteration. So first for loop, the condition is checking and it is going inside. Okay. So let me just write an example for you guys. Yeah, let me write the code for you. So for I is equal to 1 and I is less than or equal to 2 I plus plus. All right. This is my outer loop. I'm writing inside again I. Okay. J. Let me just take J. Let me just take 1. All right. So let me take the same thing so that you will understand it very clearly. All right, I have 1 with me. J is less than or equal to 2, J plus plus. So here I have print F. Okay, so high. Observe this carefully. I will close it. How many times I'm closing this? I'm closing. This is the open flower bracket. For this is the closing flower bracket. For this is the closing flower bracket. Fine. So now how exactly this is working? Let's understand the nested loop. I have for loop here. I have I is equal to 1. What is this? You all know that. This is the initialization. Let me change the color so that you will understand. All right, so that I can annotate. This is the initialization you are doing. What is that you're doing? Initialization. All right, your I value is 1 right now. What is the condition you have? So the condition is I should be less than or equal to 2. I should be less than or equal to 2. So is that true? Is it true? The condition is true? Yes, the condition is true. All right. So it will go inside. Okay, it will go inside. So again, what is that I have here? I have J is equal to, right now I is equal to 1. So keep that in mind. I is equal to 1. All right. So again, it is coming inside. J is equal to 1. So it is checking the condition. So what is the condition? J should be less than or equal to 2. Right. It is less than 1 is less than 2. Correct. So again, it is coming inside. It is printing. Okay. What is that? It is printing. It is printing high. Let me write the output here. One time it is printing high. So fine. What is the J value? I. J value is what? J value is 1. All right. So once it is printed, J value will get incremented. So J value is now 2. Again, it will check the condition. So what is the J value now? J value after increment it will become 2. So fine. J is less than or equal to 2. So 2 is equal to 2. It is true. Again, it will print this. It will go inside and it will print this. So it will print high again. So fine. It will print high. So after printing high, it will be incrementing the J value. So J value is what now? J value is 3 now. So it will check the condition. It fails. It will come out of the loop. Again, it will increment the I. So I value was not incremented. You need to understand that I value is not incremented. Now it is incrementing the I value. So it was previously 1. So it is getting incremented to 2. Again, it is checking the condition. Okay. So what is the I value right now? Right now, I value is 2 because it got incremented now. I value was 1. So it got incremented now. I value is 2. Now, what is the first thing that it will do? It will check the condition now. 2 is less than or equal to 2. It is equal to 2. Condition is true. Again, it is coming inside. Again, J value is equal to 1. Correct? J value is equal to 1 again. So it has to execute the same thing, right? So J value is equal to 1. So it is checking 1 is less than or equal to 2. Condition is true. Again, it will print whatever the statement that I have. So it will print high. So fine. Once it is printing high, so again J value will be incremented. So it was 1, it is getting incremented to 2. It will check the condition. What is that? So J value is now 2. So 2 is equal to 2. Yes, less than or equal to 2. Yes, it is equal to 2. Condition satisfies. So coming inside. So it will print high. So it is printing high. After printing high, so J value will get incremented. J value right now it is true. It will compare with the condition. Condition fails. It will come out of this. Again, I value will be incremented now because it was pending, right? After executing the statement, it will increment. So now I value is also incremented. I value is 3. So it will come, check the condition. So 3 is less than or equal to 2. No, condition fails. It will come out of this. So like this, the inner nested loop is working. So this is how you need to understand. So hope you understood the nested for loop. All right. Moving on to the next one. I think the same thing they have given with the example. Next, jump statements. It's very important. Jump statement is very, very important. Let's understand this. When I have the jump statement, the statements are unconditionally transferred within the function. That's the first thing that you need to remember. I have jump statements with me. The basic important jump statements I have is return, go to, break, and continue. So please make a note of it. I will be explaining each and every jump statement that I have out here. So in detail with an example. It's going to be very interesting for all of you. So please make a note of it. Let me start with the first one. So what is the first one that I have? I have go to. What exactly go to statement is all about. So how do I use this? So guys, please observe what is that I have. The first one is go to. The go to statement can transfer the program control anywhere in the program. What exactly it means? Say for example, I'll just give you an example. I have the lines of code. I have the lines of code. This is what I have written. All right. So this is what I have written. Observe this syntax. This is the general syntax that you need to remember. What is the general syntax that I have? I'm using the go to keyword. I'm using the go to keyword with a label. I'm using the go to keyword with a label. All right. And then I have the label. Then I have the label. All right. How exactly this go to is working? Say for example, I have this line number 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like this, I have this line number, okay, or I have the lines sequentially. All right. So now I will insert go to statement here in between. Let's imagine I'm inserting it here. So go to, all right. So go to. Label in the sense you can give the name. You can give the name whatever you want. Let's imagine like, let me just take L1. Okay, L1. Go to L1. I have executed this line. I have executed this line. I have executed this. I have executed this. Now I'm executing this. Go to L1. Okay. Go to L1 in the sense you are instructing the compiler to go to this L1. So where is this L1? So L1 is this one. Imagine L1 is this one. Go to L1 in the sense, according to the execution, after executing this, you have to execute, right? So sequentially, you are executing the line by line, right? So once you are done with this, you are executing this. You are executing this, right? But what I've given here, I've given go to L1. So after executing this, again, you are going back to this. Go to L1. So where should I go? So you are specifying this. Go to L1. So what is L1? You have mentioned here. So that is the syntax that I have given here. So L1. I'm using the colon here. So this is what you need to understand. So what is that you are doing? You are jumping the control from one place to another place, one line to another line in your program. So for example, let me take one more example. Let's not go back. Okay. So let's go forward in life. All right. So let's take some other example. So I have written go to L1. So let's imagine L1 is this. Okay, this is what I've written it as L1. So I have executed go to L1. So soon after executing this, I will not execute this. Okay, directly I will come to L1. Directly I will come to L1. I'm jumping. So hope you understood jump statement. I'm jumping without executing these two lines. I'm directly jumping to L1. So please observe here. This line name, I have given it as L1. What label in the sense what? You have the label on your book, whatever you want, whatever your name is, you will write, right? So same way. So whatever you want, you can give the name. That's not an issue, but you have to mention what is the name, where exactly you want to go. Same, both it should match. That's what you need to remember. Here I'll use semicolon, here I will use colon. That is how we use the go to statement. Let me explain one more time for all of you. So clearly let's understand. Listen here. I have the first line, all right? I have the second line. I have the third line. All right. So now fourth line, what I will write is go to. Okay. So let's imagine go to trip. Okay. Let's write like this. Okay. So semicolon. So what is that? After this, I have one more line. Okay. I have line. What is this lines you are writing, sir? lines in the sense the program code. Imagine whatever the code that I've written. Okay, so instead of writing the code, I'm just writing the line. That's it. So I have one more line. All right. So I have trip here. I've written trip colon. Okay, I've written the line. All right. What exactly it means? So first I will execute what? I will execute this line. After that, I will execute this line. After that, I will execute this line. After that, I will execute this line. If I execute this line, what is the instruction I have given it to the compiler? Go to trip. What is trip? So this line is what I will call it as a trip. Okay. So directly from here, what I will do is the control is jumping to this line without executing this one, and this one. You got it? So that is what I will call it as a go to. Alright, so this is what you need to remember with respect to this. Moving on to the next one, break statement. So break statement is very interesting. So let me explain this break statement with this diagram. Alright, what exactly break statement is all about? Whenever you encounter the break, okay, so you will come out of the loop. Whenever you encounter the break, you will come out of the loop. So what is that I have to use? So please understand, I have used the break statement like this. What is that you will use? You will use a keyword called break semicolon. This is what you have to use. Wherever you want, you can use it. So please observe here. I have the loop here. This is what opening of the loop and closing of the loop. So inside this, I have the if condition block. All right. So inside this loop, I have the break. Suppose if I encounter break, I will come out of this loop. So please observe, this is the loop. Okay, I'm just coming out of the loop. That's what you need to observe here. Same way here for loop. All right, after encountering the break statement, so I'm just coming out of the loop. What is the meaning of coming out of the loop? So please understand, this is very important. Say for example, coming out of the loop in the sense, I have to execute this statements more number of times until I fail to satisfy this condition. Yes or no? So before that, before you complete the execution of this loop, forcefully you're coming out of this loop is what the meaning of this break is all about. What is that? Before you complete the number of iterations that you want to perform in this loop, before you complete that, whenever you encounter this break, you are coming out. Say for example, 3 years you have to study the degree. So whenever you fail, so you will come out of it. You will not study at all. You will drop out from the degree. So that is what I will call it as a break. That is what I will call it as a break. So please understand this concept. Okay, break in the sense you are skipping the loop. Okay, I will give you one more example. Once I discuss, there is one more concept called continue. I will explain that. Once I am done with that, I will give you one more example, general example, so that you will understand it very clearly. All right. But till then, you need to understand break in the sense you are coming out of the loop. Okay. So that is what you need to remember. So fine. What is the next one that I have? I have continue. So what exactly continue is all about? So please understand. Continue, if you come across with continue, it will skip one iteration. It will skip one iteration. So it is not coming out of the loop. It is skipping one iteration. So now I think it's time for me to give you one general example to understand both break and continue. The main difference between break and continue is, listen to me. Imagine I have a book. How many pages you will have? You will have a lot of pages. Okay. So that book is loop. That book is loop. What is loop? Loop will have more than one iteration or a collection of iterations. Book will have more number of pages or a collection of pages. So book is a loop. Okay. Iteration is a pages. That's what you need to remember. Book is a loop. Iteration in the sense pages. In a book, you will have more number of pages. In a loop, you will have more number of iterations. If you want to come out of the book, you have to use break. If you want to come out of this iteration, one iteration, if you want to skip one iteration, you will use continue. That's what you need to remember. You got it? If you want to skip one iteration, what you will use? You will use continue. If you want to skip the loop, that is book, so you will use what? You will use break. That's what you need to remember. So what is the keyword that you'll use? You'll just use keyword continue with semicolon. All right. Moving on to the next one, that is exit. So exit, whenever you exit, whenever you come across with this exit function, it will come out of the loop again. Okay, it will come out of the loop. There is no much thing to understand in this. Break statement, exit functions can be used to break out of the loop, which is supported by C library. That's what you need to remember. If you want to exit, if you want to come out of that loop, so you can also use exit 0. This is the function. That's all you need to remember with respect to exit. By this, I have come to an end of this session, my dear students. So please go back and check all the videos. This chapter is going to be very, very important for all of you to understand the basics. So hope I made it very simple and easy. So, and also I have done a lot of videos which helps you to understand how exactly this concept is implemented practically. So please do watch that and like this video if you have understood anything, and if you have understood little also. All right. So please watch the practical videos also. It will give you much clarity than this, is what I would like to tell you. By saying this, take care. Bye-bye.